On today's episode, we are going to take a look at two stocks that Ark bought heavy this past week. And when I mean heavy, I mean pretty heavy. The first company we are going to take a look at is one that is considered the largest online recruitment platform in China. This is a recent IPO and Ark purchased it 4 times in the past 5 days. That is pretty insane. There has been a lot of negative sentiment, right, about the overall online or the Chinese market right now. And unfortunately for this stock, there has been some negative news over the weekend. And I'm pretty curious to see what Ark is going to do in the upcoming days with their position size. Regardless, there is still some strong growth and we're going to take a look at that in today's episode. The second company we're going to take a look at is Vuzix. This is in the augmented reality market. Ark purchased this 5 times, so every day last week. Again, pretty insane. This is a stock we talked about previously in this channel. But I want to say there are always some questions that I get from previous videos, so I wanted to incorporate that update into today's video. So let's jump in it. Like always, we're going to try to understand what they do, a quick look at their fundamentals, their future growth, and just my overall thoughts. All right, so the first company we are going to take a look at is Zhipin. My apologies if I am kind of butchering that name. It is currently traded under the Nasdaq as ticker BZ, and it's shown as Kanzhun. Again, my apologies for mispronouncing the name. So this is the largest online recruitment platform in China in terms of average monthly active users. If you've ever looked for a job, if you use like platforms like Indeed, this seems like a platform like it. So we can see, right, you can go, I'm on their website, translated to English, right, to just get a better understanding. But here you can try to search for jobs within that market you're trying to grow. So very similar to Indeed. And as this country continues to grow in the jobs and out there, I can definitely see why Ark would be interested in a market like this. If we take a look, right, I mentioned they are the largest online recruitment platform in China. So if you're a college student, if you're looking to get a job, this mobile platform allows you to either communicate with the recruiting professional or even directly with the boss or some of the mid-level managers to really see, hey, are you a great fit for the company? If we take a look, they have seen strong growth, dramatic growth in the past few years. For example, in their most recent quarter, they saw 71.8% growth rate on average monthly users. Right now, they have about 24.9 for the quarter ending on March 3rd of 2021. They have about 85.8 million verified job seekers and about 13 million verified enterprise users. The revenue this most recent quarter was up 179% compared to the same time last year. Their calculated cash billings were up 281. Unfortunately, the company is still not profitable, but we are going to see that they are positive in cash flow from operations. We can see cash flow from operating activities for the 3 months ended in March 31st was actually positive. So sometimes I don't mind if they're negative in earnings as long as they have positive cash flow from operations. Adjusted net loss is decreasing compared to the same time last year, so they are improving over time. Like I mentioned, this is traded under the Nasdaq as ticker BC. It is a recent IPO. And before we take a quick look at their fundamental, guys, let's take a quick listen to today's sponsor, a great reason why I'm able to provide so much content to you guys for free. And also make sure to hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up if I am providing some value to you. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me scout out new growth stocks. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services the Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool Stock Advisor services, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 new picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock Advisor's average stock picks have done amazing returns. If growing your money is something you like to do more of this year, you can visit fool.com/Jose Najarro or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if the Stock Advisor is right for you. Thanks again to the Motley Fool, and now onto today's video. So we can see in the past 5 days, the stock is actually down about 9.86%. We're going to see there are some recent news right now that has kind of, I want to say it's looking a bit scary. I don't know how I would handle the situation. That's why I'm pretty interested to see how Ark is going to handle it. So right now, and if we take a look, this is recent IPO. Its first closing day, it closed at around $37.20. but the actual IPO price was $19. So it's up a nice amount from its IPO price. Right now, if we take a look at their top shareholders, their CEO and chairman owns about 17.6% of the business. There's also some big names, right? Capital Today owns 10%, and it's actually being backed up by one of my favorite companies right now in China, and that's Tencent Holdings, which owns about 8.6%. If we take a look, their balance sheet looks super strong. We saw they're not profitable right now. They are positive in cash flow from operations. They have plenty of cash, 4.7 billion in their local currency, and no debt to their name. They are positive in cash flow from operations, which is pretty great, right? And like I mentioned, recently some bad news came out for this company. Kanzhun Limited announces a cybersecurity review in China. The overall cyberspace administration of China on July 5th, 2021. So that's today, reported that they need to do a review. So during this period, their mobile application is required to suspend new user registrations. For a company that deals with applications, right, with a mobile application, this is something big. I wonder how it's going to affect, especially how long is it going to take. If it takes multiple weeks, can competition come in and swoop in and take some of these players? So I think the most important thing is how long this review is going to last and what extent and what kind of effect it's going to have after it. So the company says they are going to obviously work with them. I don't think they have a choice, but they just say they're going to work with them. I really want to see what Ark is going to do, right? Because they purchased 4 days this past week. So only one day, and I think it was Friday. Friday was the only day they did not purchase. So the second company we are going to take a look at is Vuzix. This is in the augmented reality glasses, right? This is definitely a pretty cool market. And one of the questions I get a lot is, Jose, why is this market so cool right now? We've had kind of talks about it in the past, right? In many years ago, right? We've seen big names kind of worked in smart glasses, but they really didn't lift off. First, let's start off with Vuzix. So Vuzix, like I mentioned, they are really in the augmented reality glasses. Their products are mainly used in like the telemedicine solutions, field service and remote assisting, warehouse solutions, even in manufacturing solutions. So let's say you're in the manufacturing, you're creating something. If you have these glasses on, they can kind of tell you, hey, this is the next step you need to do. So it's definitely a market I can see continue to grow. Ark definitely sees it since they purchased it every single day this past week. But like I mentioned, right, this is pretty in a market that's pretty interesting, especially in the past. We've kind of had that uncertainty in it. But I believe the biggest difference now is there's now a lot of platforms that are really working at helping creators kind of make augmented and virtual reality content. For example, Autodesk is a big name, right? One of the biggest players in this overall simulation style or kind of modeling platform. And they now kind of really have tools to make this augmented reality, this virtual reality, or this mixed reality content. Another one is Unity, right? Unity has become super popular. And now it's not that expensive to kind of create this form of content. I'm pretty sure multiple engineers, right? I'm an engineer, I've worked in the field. Most of the engineer friends that I have, they've heard of Autodesk, they've heard of Unity. So they are familiar, and there's plenty of tools out there to kind of learn these tools. So now the ability to kind of create content there in form for businesses, for new startups, for software is just really amazing. So now I believe that's really bringing the market into there because it's kind of reducing the cost. So Vuzix, if we take a look, right, they're right now traded under the Nasdaq as ticker VUZI. It's currently it was down about 2.26% on Friday when the market was closed. From its 52-week high, the stock is down about 42%. And in the past 5 days, the stock is down. It's actually pretty much flat, up about 0.19%. So again, Ark bought every single day this past week. And let me see which day was the heaviest. Thursday seemed to be the heaviest. They bought about 354,000 shares roughly. And this is pulling the information out of their daily email. So another thing I want to show, and right, I kind of mentioned why I see the overall growth in this market. Here we can see it. Vuzix in the past few quarters, they've seen dramatic growth in revenue from glasses. Pretty impressive. They are really focusing in the telemedicine and healthcare market, which I find pretty impressive. So they're kind of, even though they're kind of hitting all these solutions, they're really focusing in certain markets, which I like to see, right? They want to become these leaders in the telemedicine AR market, but they're also focusing here. They also kind of give a more of like a timeline of how they're doing with different markets. In the tier 1 aerospace and defense contractors, they're already more in the production and negotiation phase. So I really want to see some of these names come out. We've seen in previous video a lot of contracts coming out. I want to see more from tier 1 aerospace, and they kind of have here, and this is a recent presentation, was from May 10th 2021. So overall, strong growth, right? We can see there, unfortunately, the company is not profitable in earnings. If we take a quick look at their fundamentals, they're not profitable in earnings. They're not positive in cash flow from operations, but they are expected to grow 49.9% on average for the next 3 to 5 years. Another thing is this company has strong amount of cash, about $132 million in cash and no debt to their name. So fundamentally, I really do like where Vuzix is in. Now let me share my overall thoughts. If any of these stocks were to enter my portfolio, I think since they are so small, Vuzix is less than $2 billion market cap, it would only be a tier 3 stock in my portfolio. The first one we saw, the Chinese IPO, unfortunately, I feel there might be a little too much risk in it. If it was to open in my portfolio, it would also be a tier 3 stock. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like always, make sure to hit the thumbs up, the subscribe button, and see you next time.